Well, hello.
Well, hello there. Fancy seeing you here.
Weird. We keep meeting.
Well, I gotta shut my Wi-Fi off.
Knock some stuff over. I've had the Muppet Show theme song in my head today.
Oh, squeaky chair.
Squeaky.
The Muppet Show, like the original. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's a good.
Because I saw where somebody had pointed out that the song from Les Mis, "Empty Chairs at Empty Tables," fits perfectly with the Muppet Show theme song, and it does. It's pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah. There's a grief that can't be spoken. There's a pain goes on and on. Empty chairs at empty tables. Now my friends are dead and gone. Doom, doom.
So which came first?
The Muppet Show.
Oh. So is the Henson family going to be suing?
I don't think so. I think that it sort of raises the awareness of both, I believe.
I don't think it does.
I don't know. I think it does.
Well, that's what I'm going to say when I come out with my new hit for this winter. Let It Snow, but it's going to be Let It Snow, Let It Snow. I'm going to tell Disney, look, I think that it raises awareness.
Well, I don't think anybody has actually recorded it like this. It's just, it happens to fit. The two song structures are very similar.
Oh. Okay, well, you should have led with that.
I thought I did. I think you made an assumption that I wasn't necessarily implying.
It was like well, it's been a good show.
Yeah. That was
Everybody's been asking for a shorter show, so
that's true.
There you go. I don't know, actually. Has anybody been asking for a shorter show?
I don't think anybody's been asking for any shows, to be honest.
That's true. I got new stickies.
You got new stickies?
Yeah.
What kind of stickies you got?
That
could be a lot of different things, some of them disturbing. Quick, clarify. Oh, look at that. Look at that. A nice big brick of them. Actually, weirdly enough, I got some in myself. They're in the closet, unfortunately, so I can't get them.
Well,
but
tell them it's okay.
I got the multicolored ones. I like the...
Yeah, that's how these are, too.
Oh, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
See?
Oh, I don't know.
Why do you like the multicolored ones?
I like them because I get used to them. I get used to the pink ones or whatever, and then it's time for the blue ones, and it's like refreshing or something. I don't know. It's weird.
You don't actually organize like, oh, this is this kind of thought, so I'm going to use this color.
Oh, no. I've got one of those dispenser things, so I have to get the ones that are back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so I'm kind of stuck with that one pad until it's...
Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and
right.
Sorry.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck with that one pad until it's done. If I want to go to the next color, I have to start writing down all kinds of stuff.
You don't like the color you have?
No, it's just, if I'm ready for a change and the pad is not, then I have to accelerate my my thought jotting down frequency.
One idea per sticky.
Right. If I can make a really long sentence and put stickies to go all the way down the desk.
Yeah, I've got to clean out my. I gotta go back through and clean out my sticky situation.
That's gross.
Okay. Well, I don't know where you want to start, but
well,
I just sent the pin.
A cloud of pins.
I know, and the one I just sent you, we can't talk about yet, and I'll explain why later. So don't bring that up. But
I wish we could do different color of pins, so you can be like, not this one, but next one would be like
stickies,
blue pin. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, apparently we can talk about some stickies.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's a grab bag. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of
stuff. You also owe us an update. And,
yes, and I might actually have one.
I don't even know where to. I can't even remember how far back it was. When was it that we met last? Because I could go back to that.
Last Wednesday.
I go back to that point. Okay, when I get to whiskey, I should stop, right? Because that. Okay, here. So I got the last one today.
In so many things.
That's a good bumper sticker. When you get to whiskey,
you should stop.
or a T-shirt like "Stop at the whiskey."
Yeah, but whiskey time is stopping time.
Okay. So wherever you want to start.
Yeah, I was going to say
dealer's
that
choice. Dealer's choice.
There's a lot of very intriguing verbiage here, and I think that the one I'm most curious about is all one word: sunset spice.
Oh. So this resulted in one of the heartiest laughs I have had in a long time.
And I missed it.
You did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So this, I'll set the scene for you. It was this past weekend. It was a Saturday night. Things are going right.
S-A-T-U-R-D-A-A.
Yeah. So many
Right.
songs.
Why?
So many songs. It was the momentum weekend thing, and
Yes,
it was after
The
hours,
inertia.
and I was, not that after hours, but the other after hours, and I was working. We were like, I got together with guys from the conference thing, just not like a small select of the cool kids, basically,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
allowed me to come along.
That explains why I
And-
wasn't there, though. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and so we're sitting there, and I was sitting next to Fred Abley, who Mr. Fred is, as some people know him by, who's the proprietor, mastermind,
Get Me Coding.
evil genius, behind getmecoding.com.
Hellaciously nice guy.
Oh my gosh. He's got to be evil because he's so nice. Like you,
Right,
you don't
exactly.
make people that. I know. I
Very
don't
true.
understand it. And so I was. We were at Dahlia Lounge. We were partaking in food and beverages, and we'd been
As
there for
you
a
do.
while. And Dahlia Lounge, for those who don't know, is at the Grandestino Tower in Disney's
Top
Coronado
of that
Springs.
sucker.
It's so nice. 16th floor.
Very, very nice. Love that place.
One of the things that makes it particularly nice is one of the cast members who's there, and they have some other good cast members, but this particular one of my favorite of all cast members, and that is Susan.
Yes,
who
she's
is-
very cool.
She's great. She's so nice. She's like, it's like the friendliest person, and she also has a really cool Instagram account. And she takes sunset pictures.
Ah.
And it's nice. It's very nice. It's one of the nice things about Instagram, right? Like there's not a lot of drama on Instagram.
That's
It's
true.
just like people are posting pictures of sunsets and stuff. Anyway, so I was
Not a
telling
lot of
Fred,
room for drama on there. I think it was very well designed in that regard.
yeah, give them time.
Yeah, well.
so give people enough time, they'll ruin everything. So I
Newtonian law, I think.
I was explaining this to Fred, and trying to put my do not disturb on. I was explaining this to Fred, and I said, and he pulls out his phone and he's looking for the account, and I said, he's like, okay, so he's typing. I'm watching him type it in. Sunset. So her Instagram account, for those who are wondering, is Sunsets by Susan. Sunsets
by Susan.
Right. So I say this to him, and he's writing this down. He's typing out sunsets, and then he puts like an S. I'm like, no. Sunsets by Susan. He said, sunsets. And I see him start by SP. I'm like, no. Sunsets by Susan. And then I see him type it out, Sunset Spice. And I said, no.
Oozin? Sunset Spice Oozin?
He just thought, I don't know, right. He thought it was Sunset Spice Susan, which apparently gives you a very different result.
Ooh, yeah, I bet it does. And a very different Susan.
And a very different Susan. So now I feel like, and Susan doesn't know this yet, but I feel like now she's Sunset Spice. Like I feel like, how I
you
love
go.
nicknames. I love nicknames. And I think that I did tell her about this, and she got a kick out of it. I don't think she got as big of a kick out of it as we did. But
Yeah, she probably hadn't had as many beverages as you guys had.
But I'm feeling like she's Sunset Spice now.
No, she's clearly has to be.
Right? I think
She
we all
is
have to start
Sunset
calling.
Spice.
Yeah, Sunset Spice. I think she should just start a new account. I don't even know if that exists yet, for real. Sunset Spice. It's just you do get interesting things when you look up stuff by mistake. That's all I'm going to say.
That's true. Google has the safe search, but Instagram does not.
Yeah, there is. Well, that's interesting. Well, it wasn't what I expected.
Okay.
Sunset Spice, treat others the way you want to be treated. Spread love.
Okay.
Not a lot of activity.
Positive message, but not a terribly original one.
I mean, what's a little frustrating is that I think it looks like this account maybe was created in August, so we missed it by that much.
Oh, man. Yikes.
I know.
That's
Anyway.
a shame.
So, we're not going to go through this process now, but it's a worthwhile exercise, I think, when people are bored to...
like they are on this show.
to play that little game. It's another little game we're going to create for you, which is called, What's That Sound Like? Look It Up. Because it happens, like this happens, right? Like you'll say, like, wait, what did you say? You think you hear something and it's not what you hear. But I think you have to follow through on that. Like, I think you have to commit to it. Like, oh, I'm following that trail.
Right, yeah.
Does this exist? Chances are it does.
Yeah, when I hear something and there's a little bit of like jamming noise around, like so there's lots of conversations or something. Like at the Dolly Lounge, I have no doubt that there was a lot of just sort of noise, very variable and stuff. So it really does screw with whatever somebody's trying to tell you, especially when it's something like that. You're trying to convey like a username or something that is not a string of English words. It's just this thing you're supposed to be trying to type in. And my brain tends to make up some very, very bizarre things.
It's like the words to the songs.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah. It was funny because Fred was really hesitant, and I didn't understand why. He's like, I think he's considering, like, do I want this in my search history?
Yeah. So, Jason, I don't think you understand. I'm a nice guy.
I know. I'm a good...
I can't be putting anything with the spice into my Instagram.
Spice. No Old Spice. No Allspice.
Certainly no Old Spice.
So that was Sunset Spice. It's not a long story, but it's fun. And if you know Susan, fun. It's extra fun.
And you should know Susan if you don't. Go to Dolly Lounge, ask for Susan, get some amazing service and whatnot, and then go talk to guest services and say that she was awesome.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, you can't call people out like in the app thing that they have now, where you can say
such
like it's only at the like restaurant level that you can do it. You can't get any more detailed than that.
Yeah. All of them are great. It's just no, that's not the point.
No, they're not. Yeah. Oh, another important update for those who are keeping track. Mike, who was one of the great bartenders at Dahlia Lounge, is no longer at Dahlia Lounge, but have no fear, he's still near quite the deer. I don't know what I'm saying. He's over at Territory Lounge at Wilderness Lodge.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. He's that's a really great guy. Great stories. Good guy. Yeah.
Cool. Mike the bartender, Territory Lounge.
Mm-hmm. Tell him I said hi. And while you're there, you should call me, and so I can come over and.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We'll give out Jason's number later.
That'd be great, please. 86753. So that happened this week too.
Jason.
I tried to quote that. It was like a mixed metaphor kind of situation. Like I had said, I don't remember the context exactly, but I referenced referenced the song.
Jenny's.
Yeah. What is it called?
It's Jenny / 8675309. 8675309. It's by Tommy Tutone. Tutone.
Yeah, because I can't exactly remember what I said something like, here it is. I said because as you can see I haven't lost Billy's number. So I was deliberately
Billy, don't you lose my number. Okay.
Right.
I'm not anywhere.
Right.
I can't find you or something. Or you're not anywhere where I can't find you.
I'm not anywhere. Because you're not
anywhere.
That makes sense.
I can't find you.
Yeah.
That
I can't find you. You're not anywhere that I can't find you. Yeah.
That's Phil Collins, right?
Billy, don't. Yeah, it's Phil Collins. Right. So I said, because as you can see, I haven't lost Billy's number. And then I wrote, what I intended to write was 8675309. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what I was doing at the moment. But I typed 6563209.
That's not. When people mishear lyrics, I've never heard anybody mishear that.
and then I responded.
You've been saying the lyrics wrong this whole time.
Right away with an expletive, and I said 657.
Yes,
but it's not.
Well, now that you cleared that up,
right. So then the person wrote back to me. This person who was born in the 90s, mind you, wrote back to me, Billy ? And then I said, Google it. And they wrote back, area code ?
So they're
and I'm like, oh no, they actually think I'm. And I'm thinking, oh God, they're trying to call somebody named Billy at this number. They think like, now what are they going to do?
Well, I think that if you had gotten the number right, they would have caught on.
And then the person said, unless 657 is the area code and not a correction, I'm so confused.
I don't blame them, to be honest.
And then, so then I had to sent later in the day, I sent links to the songs. Like, here's the Billy song, here's, right.
There's not 657.
Yeah. And then I said, well, I was off by a couple digits.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're calling someone in Sheboygan.
Yeah. So anyway, that, I don't know why that was relevant. I really don't. But it felt important to share with you, my friend.
Well, so I appreciate it.
Shared it is. Shared it is. I
killed
a snail.
You killed a snail?
Yeah.
That's not hard. Not special. They're very slow. Why did you kill a snail?
Oh, and we got to talk about it. We got to talk about acorns too. So
clearly, we have to talk about acorns.
So you
had some serious acorns to be taken on a snail.
I was coming home from I don't remember when I was late. It was dark. It was late, and I was walking back from my car and carrying my stuff, and I'm probably looking at my phone. I don't know, and I walking up to my door at home, where this all started, if you remember, and
your house, and
I stepped some crunch under my foot, and immediately I thought, God, I hope it's an acorn, like kind of thing, like, right? It's not an acorn. I turn around, I look, and like,
somebody's house.
No, it was like my worst fear, like, no. It was a snail that crushed its little shell thing. What do I do? I can't like mouth to mouth a snail.
No. It'll be difficult to find the mouth on the.
What do you do? What do you do? I can't.
Well, I mean, was he still alive? It was just his
Dude, how am I supposed to know? I can't find a pulse on a snail.
Well, I mean, movement is a good indicator.
He's a snail. How long do I stay there to watch? Like, is he okay? I don't know. So I didn't know what to do. And what I knew is that I don't want to know the outcome. I don't want to come out tomorrow morning.
Schrodinger's
Two things
snail.
could happen. I don't want to come out tomorrow morning and like see him still there. And I certainly don't want to come out and step on him again.
Look on his face.
Well, I don't want to go out and step on him again either.
True.
Right?
And dead snail. I mean, that's just depressing. on your doorstep.
Don't they kind of like
very bizarre Sicilian message?
Like, what do they call that? It's not sublime. It's sub. What's that called when something
gross?
No, it's not sub. It's sub when something like. It's like. What's that called?
Drooling.
People know what I'm talking about at home. They're screaming at their radios.
It's
Jason,
not sublimate. That's
sublimate.
No, that's when something goes directly from solid to gas.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like when it goes from a solid to a. It's not melt. It doesn't melt anyway.
It's a melting sort of aesthetic, I guess.
Yeah. So I just kind of got. I just couldn't like. Can you like that?
You're doing a jerk move.
Like a little. I just like.
Oh, you sort
swiped
of
it with my foot, like just.
Yeah, you sort of soccer tapped.
Try to like.
With the inside of your foot.
Yeah, like no, the bottom.
Oh, the bottom.
The bottom, not the side. I didn't want any residue. I didn't want any like signs of this.
Any snail on you.
Oh, God. When you say it like that. And I got him. He went into the bushes, I think. I don't know. I didn't look for him. I felt terrible.
Well, you had to start working on a new house.
I feel a little. I'm a little disturbed that like my first instinct was to like cover my tracks. This didn't happen. Nothing to see here.
So you immediately started trying to set up an alibi. And
I was in the pool. So I was hoping it was an acorn, right? But then today, what I didn't understand is the power of an acorn. Like, I don't think I could have actually crushed an acorn with my foot.
Oh.
Because today, when I was parking at Saratoga Springs, and I pulled in thinking, oh, I'm going to pull in under this tree because it's shady. And I saw the acorns on the ground. And I thought, wow, these acorns are going to fall into my car probably. But I was like, it's worth it, so it's shady. Right? It's fine. So I pull in. Okay, so when I'm leaving, I'm pulling out. And it was like I must have just been like parked on a bed of acorns. Because when I was pulling out, it was like something was wrong with my wheel. Like I was afraid. Like, do I have a flat or something? Like, what's going on? It was like that. It's like being on
drive
another
over ball bearings or something.
It was really, it was like that feeling was really weird. It was really weird. I was like, wow, acorns are strong.
Yeah, I guess they are, yeah.
They should make stuff out of acorns. They should like build stuff. You're like, oh, well, we can give you a concrete foundation, or we could, forget rebar, throw some acorns in there.
It produces its own landscaping.
Well, it adds stability and structure or something. Like it gives the concrete something to bind to. No, that's actually not a bad idea. If that would happen and the roots would grow down, it would be perfect.
You have a foundation that actually grows roots. Like you generally want to stave off the roots because the roots will invade your foundation and crack it and stuff. But if you turn it around and make the tree the foundation, then the roots become a good thing. It's all about perspective.
You know what we would call it?
What would we call it?
Grootcrete.
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 Grootcrete. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think it's brilliant.
It is. Right. I am Slab.
I'm really like I think we're irritating people because we're not giving them the update about. I don't care. I don't really care.
I never give them the good stuff at the beginning.
We got to clear the list. We have to clear the list, people. We have to clear. So I think we have to. I'm not going to jump into the iOS 15 stuff. I feel like we have to reserve a special episode for that. Like a tech episode.
When we get too techie, a lot of people drop off. But they'll stick around because
is that what your research is? Is that what your research is?
Yeah, no, my extensive market research that I've done. I'm just watching my girlfriend listen to the show.
Is that what you call her? Do you call her your girlfriend?
I don't know. That's an interesting thing that we ought to bring up.
Let's talk about
the
that.
Thing that we,
Are you listening? Emily, this is the part where you might want to turn it up or turn it off.
Well, remember, like I said, my market research has shown that they give up after 30 episodes. But
it doesn't matter where they begin.
Nope.
But 30 is the top one.
Yeah, 30 is you reach saturation point, and they're like, okay, we get it. You guys are old, but that's a weird thing, isn't it? I mean, this sounds a bit sort of Larry David Seinfeld episode thing, but it's sort of like like if you have a romantic partner and you guys are fine not being married.
Oh, you know what?
What do you call one another?
You're gonna have to start
when you're 48
Can you start
years
that?
old.
I didn't hear what you just said. I hit the wrong button. I didn't mean. I meant to mute myself. I'm opening a bag of Halls. And here,
and you
this
muted
sound
me?
effects. No. And when two things happened. Number one, I hit the wrong side, and I didn't mute it on my side. Like, so I muted it. I muted it in Ecamm. I think I did something. I disconnected it, but I didn't mute it on my audio capture. So that's gonna sound nice.
Oh, okay. So so it's there and your audio capture.
And so I don't know whether anybody will be able to hear.
So that's going to sound really weird because it's like, of course you heard it. People aren't going to get that you didn't hear it because you did hear it.
No, because on your side
like
also.
You hear it. Right, exactly.
Right. Yeah. So that happened. So what were you saying?
So what I was saying was, when you're 48 years old, as we are.
Oh, what are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sadly. 2 years away from the big.
Don't say that.
It's less than that now. But there's a They Might Be Giants song called "You're Older Than You've Ever Been, and Now You're Even Older, and Now You're Even Older."
Is it "You're older than you've ever been,
and now you're even older, and now you're even older, and now you're even older"?
I love them.
I saw them
in
one of the
concert.
greatest bands ever.
Way
Where
back.
did you see them?
It was at Johns Hopkins. When
That's cool.
back in the
I saw them in
college
Tempe,
days.
Arizona. Yeah.
When Michelle used to let me hang
they're
out
doing
with
a tour now, but they're not getting anywhere near Florida, which I guess with COVID and whatnot I can understand. But
what are they, like 70 years old now?
They're still. That's the great thing about it, is that their music doesn't require a massive amount of energy to play, like say a Bon Jovi or a Rolling Stones or whatever.
I don't know.
Like how
Istanbul
old they are doesn't really.
Istanbul not is the song Istanbul not
Istanbul parentheses
Istanbul?
not Constantinople.
I got you.
And
That's
it's not a They Might Be Giant song. That's a cover.
What?
That's an older song than They Might Be Giants. That's
what?
I can't think of the band that originally sang it. Nope. It came out in like the 50s or something.
Oh, that's lies.
It is not. It is not. And I
Can't believe a word
really
this man
wanting
says.
to Google it up right now.
I'm not going to look it up. I'm resisting.
But anyway.
I want to hear your story. Okay.
So, aside from the They Might Be Giants thing, when you are an older person and you have a romantic partner.
Oh, I like where this is going.
You have this romantic partner and you are in a relationship with a romantic partner and you're in a committed and monogamous relationship, but you don't really feel the need to get married to them. What do you call them to other people?
I feel like this is like Klondike bar commercial. Like, what do you do?
Well, I was saying about as
what
you were
do you
meeting
do
and
with an
opening
old
your
girlfriend?
halls, I was saying it's kind of a weird thing that sounds like a conversation from Seinfeld or something, but but girlfriend and boyfriend just seems so
young.
Yeah, it seems so juvenile, and not like in a bad way. It's just like that's even if you're 26, that's fine.
Even if you're 20.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're 26 and you're saying I have a girlfriend, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But when you're 48,
I don't think so. I think it's weird as a 26-year-old too.
You think so?
I don't
know.
Well, where's the cutoff?
I think once you get to 30, you should probably start thinking of a different.
So when
word
you're
for that.
35, he's like, "Oh, this is my girlfriend." Yeah, that doesn't feel.
Yeah,
That feels weird.
doesn't
Okay, let's go
sound
back.
right.
Let's put
And the
ourselves.
older
Okay.
you get, the less right it sounds.
Okay, now I'm at 35. We know no. So let's think 31. 31. What was I doing when I was 31? Can you remember? How?
What was I doing when I was 31?
What was I doing when I was 31? Is the question.
I was working at a radio station.
Huh?
It's just
No, not
remembering what
me?
I was doing when I was 31. No, you. Yeah,
No,
you.
yeah,
You
no,
were,
no.
you
31.
Were,
I would.
I have
no,
this weird knowledge of your personal history.
31. No, I couldn't have done that. No, 31's too old too.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting into dodgy territory between 25 and 30, I think, but it's still, 25. It's almost like I'll allow it, but start thinking about maybe transitioning to a new word. But then what is the word, right? I mean,
I think people would say partner.
See, that's what we typically use.
But
then that seems to have its own baggage.
Well, right, because again, not that there's anything wrong with any of these things.
Not
We're very
in the
accepting
least, but it does
people.
cause certain assumptions if the other person isn't present, Right,
because I've not introduced or talked to, but like my business partners, about my business partners.
There's that too,
my
right?
partners, right?
Thing.
Right. But then it's like, when you see it in this person's eyes when you say, "Oh, my partner," and they're like,
Is that romantic? Yeah.
Do you mean, right?
See, I mean, and I get the reason that partner became a thing because of that, right? Because you were like, I want to convey that I have an intimate relationship with this person, but not necessarily. But I think it's the same thing. I don't want to call them boyfriend. I don't want to call them girlfriend because that term is just so, I don't know, floopy. And I don't know. It's weird. It's hard. It's hard to come because then somehow Manfriend seems to be kind of okay. It seems a little antiquated.
I've never heard that in my. What are you talking about? Manfriend.
Yeah, like the term.
No one
is
says
my
that.
Manfriend.
No
Not
one
anymore.
says that.
But it was
never.
Manservant. But woman friend sounds like even and lady friend.
When did
like
anyone
that,
ever say man friend? Where is that ever? When has that ever been a thing?
I don't have a list of all of the occurrences, but the
I've never heard of it.
Well, then obviously it doesn't exist if Jason has not heard of it.
No, I just don't. I've never heard of it. I mean, like I'm legitimately interested in knowing.
Those words have been placed together before, and they have been done
not
so.
Manfred.
Not Man Friday, but
yeah.
But the point is that if you are feeling like it's too juvenile, it would seem like the obvious choice to change boy and girl to man and woman, but that, as we clearly have determined, is awkward and weird sounding, particularly woman friend. That sounds bizarre to me. And then you can get like Lebowski and call her your lady friend, but even that sounds weirdly wrong. And so, yeah, it's weird. It's there should be a term. Somebody, the professor of linguistics at some amazing institution of knowledge should be coming up with terms for mature people and their non-married romantic partners.
Okay. Well, two things. Number one, I think it's important that people tell us if they have ever heard the phrase "man friend" used ever, because this is like a brand new word to me.
Me too. That is weird to me that you've never heard of that.
Never heard of it in my life. It's weird. As we talked about that last week or the week before. Like, it's weird when you are our age and you encounter something like some point of knowledge or something like that. Just like I've never heard of that ever. Mm-hmm. It's not like a star that like some weird thing that was just discovered or no, just a phrase. Man, I never heard of it in my life ever. And also, so then what do other people say?
Yeah,
I want to know what other people say.
And has anybody solved that problem? Because it's clearly like, because again, like you're saying, I'm 48 years old and I've never heard anybody use a term that I said, oh, there you go. That's what we should use. I've never heard anybody do it. I don't think this problem has been solved yet. And if it has, somebody is keeping it very secret. And it's frustrating.
Yeah. And this isn't something that Google can really help you with either.
Yeah.
Because you can't even put it in you can't put the search term. You can't get the search term right because what do you say? Like, what do you call an older girlfriend? Like, that's not. That's
right.
like is somebody who may be older than you.
Older. Oh, that's a good tip. Yeah.
Not to their face.
Only to Google.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a conundrum. I don't know.
It is.
I wish you luck.
Thank you.
I think you should just call her your lover and be done with it.
See, that's.
I mean, honestly,
it has occurred to me.
Let's just cut to the chase. Let's just cut to the chase. I think you call it. This is my lover.
I think that you leave.
Well, why not?
You leave the R off of there. This is my lover. Hello, my lover.
I mean, you could say significant other.
Yeah, but that's a lot of syllables.
My SO. This is my SO.
So it sounds bizarrely like nautical. I don't know why.
Like an XO.
SO, this is the captain speaking. Fire torpedoes.
The visual. Oh, God. Oh, man.
We have a hit, sir.
Oh, no.
Very well. Anyway.
I mean, I don't want to say mistress.
No, that's terrible.
Because that implies something else, even though
right.
it does.
That implies you are married.
You can't. You don't want to say.
Just not to her.
Companion, right? Companion, but that sounds almost like a pet.
And I'm a big fan of Firefly, and Companion is what they called hookers on that show. So.
Yeah, lover would be better, I think.
Yeah. Lover.
Oh,
that's the surefire way to make everybody in a situation where you're introducing somebody for the first time very uncomfortable.
Lover, my live-in partner.
This is my lover.
My
wee bit
bedmate.
of rumpy pumpy.
My other half. How about that? My other half.
Yeah, it's a little 80s sitcom-y, but
my better half.
That's even worse.
My ball and chain.
Now we're regressing through the years of sitcoms now. We've landed on the honeymooners.
Well, what does Emily say?
Well, she's just as perplexed about this than I am.
What does she answer
using
to?
Partner, but
Oh, you have been using partner. Okay.
yeah, but I mean, it just doesn't feel because you have to do that, right? You're like, okay, especially like I said, I live in this place over here with my partner, and if she's not there, then now I have to explain that. I mean, not that I have to. I don't care, but
you feel compelled though.
They're confused until I do. That was the thing, and so
right. It's the same.
Cut down on confusion.
Well, my friend, we used to have what we called the "I'm not gay" seat in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Which I never, because it really has nothing to do with sexual orientation.
Nothing.
It has to do with I don't want to share an armrest.
I want armrests.
Anyway.
Yes.
Right.
I want both armrests. Thank you.
It's not like on an airplane. You call
right,
it.
We talked about that in the airplane, right? It's like
yes.
I'm a kind of wider than usual sort of shouldered guy. And if I'm on the airplane, I'm sitting like this the whole time because the person next to me, even if they are narrow-shouldered, I come into their airspace enough that I have to like do this. And certainly that happens at the theater too. So, yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah. And plus you can put your coats there and stuff if you're wearing coats. Not
Florida,
a lot around here. No.
It's a big deal. Here, I gotta put my extra sandals here.
Put my beach
what is
umbrella.
she? How
right
does she
there.
refer to herself?
Emily. Well, she calls herself.
Well, how does she?
Em.
So she calls you partner. She refers to you as partner. Okay.
Yeah, if she's introducing me, or either way, we call each other our partner.
Someone's out there who knows the answer to this or has a good solution.
I feel like somebody solved this at some point.
Maybe you could just make up a word.
Yeah, well,
like how might you just use a different word? Like this is my snuggle. It's my snuggle.
That's almost more disturbing than lover.
Why? You're snuggling.
I don't know. I really can't
Don't
put
they
my
have-
finger on it, but it is.
I heard there was a thing in Japan that was what's the like they have like people like women, I guess, or men. I guess you can hire men too. You can hire to snuggle with you.
Yeah.
Like you're not actually doing anything other than snuggling.
Yeah, I
But it's like
don't
a
know
thing.
the word for that, but yeah.
Cuddling or something. Mm-hmm. My cuddle bug. Hey, he's my
Cuddle
cuddle bug.
bug. This is my cuddle bug. Yeah, we can just throw terms
Honey
of
bunch?
endearment out as official nomenclature.
Why not? I mean,
I always call her pudding biscuit. So
pudding biscuit. This is my pudding
this is
biscuit.
my pudding biscuit.
Yes, I love that. This is my pudding biscuit. It kind of rolls off the
There we
tongue
go.
too. Surprisingly
It does.
well.
See, doesn't it?
This is my pudding biscuit. You got to be careful.
Right. See, you gotta make sure
You don't wanna
get
go
your
too fast.
elocution going.
Right. My. I almost said pudding council. I don't know why that was.
Pudding council. That's a council I would love to serve on. Tapioca. I don't know. Sounds like something somebody on a pudding council would say.
Okay. So speaking of being 48, we do have
Yes.
to. I know we're gonna get to your update.
Before we turn 49.
So at this said conference this weekend,
Yes.
I think we were sharing space. Like by sharing space, I mean like sharing the upstairs level at the Hilton with the conference level, like with some other medical related thing. I thought it was dentistry or something based on the machinery that I was seeing, but it turns out it was the wrong end, because when I was in the bathroom, in the men's room, I come around the corner to wash my hands.
Uh-huh.
And this happened. This happened. Like, so I came into the bathroom, normal bathroom. Okay. I talk to the counselor, and then I come back to wash my hands, and there's a stack of material. Not like somebody sat it there to go do their thing and then to go talk to the counselor and then come. No, there's like they're like pamphlets. They're like, I don't even know the right. It's the kind of thing like a mailer, like you would get a mailer, like a mailing card, like so like cardstock, glossy.
But it's
so
so
probably
it's like regular envelope, like folded to
I
get
would
like a
say-
trifold kind of thing.
No, like hard cardstock. I would say like at least 5x7, if not a little larger.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
significant. Right, like 5x7 kind of style. Hard cardstock, floppy, glossy, like really nice graphics. Man on the front, and basically the idea that the teaser, the hook, is something like you don't have to live in shame anymore, or something like that, or you don't have
the
to.
bathroom.
Yes, turns out it's like an advertisement for erectile dysfunction.
That they just kind of put in the bathroom.
Like and there's a backside and everything. It's like with like pictures and stuff, and like I guess of the I don't know what it is. I did like shockwave therapy. It was disturbing.
Shockwave.
Yes. So immediately, I'm thinking to myself, number one, how did this get here?
Yeah.
Number two, why did this get here? Like,
Right. Is this official, or did somebody set these down?
well, clearly
Forgot
they didn't
'em.
fall. They didn't like manifest themselves.
Well, yeah,
Like,
no,
clearly
but what
this-
I mean is like somebody was carrying these somewhere else. They went into the bathroom to wash their hands. and
No,
they
it wasn't.
left,
That's what right.
and
No, they
accidentally
were
left
because there
them.
was a stack here and a stack there and a stack. There were like 3 stacks like by each sink. Someone,
Yeah, okay, so that's
wanting people to
purposeful.
take them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, now let's Jason put your consultant hat on here. Like, if you really wanted men to get information, number one, put a woman on the front. Not to say that there aren't men who would rather see. Right. I'm just saying.
Heteronormative,
But at the same time, it is the majority religion. So, like,
Women's.
if you're looking to capture the largest segment of the market, I'm not saying that other people of other persuasions don't deserve to have non-ED issues. I'm not saying that. I wish them all well. I wish myself well. I wish everybody well. I'm just saying
I'm not sure that the guy on the front of this pamphlet was for sexually enticement reasons, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But if you're going to put
representative of your average penis haver.
Well, I think even that is actually a little presumptuous. So
average.
Okay. So anyway, so we can agree to disagree about that. I'm just saying, if you want me to take something with me, how about you make it some anyway? Number two. It's 5x7 cardstock. What am I supposed to do with this? Where am I supposed to put it? Am I supposed to fold it up and stick it in my pocket? If that's the case, it's going to ruin it.
Roll it up and put it down your pants.
I don't. Right. Solve all your problems today. Right. So
this
I'm
is
thinking,
nice, stiff cardstock for you.
So I'm washing my hands, sing the birthday song, and I'm like, why? Like, why would you have a flimsy pamphlet that someone can take with them?
That sends the wrong message, though.
So this is a serious problem.
It should have been made out of wood.
Oh,
but here's a counterpoint to this, though.
Okay, yeah.
Number one, I think that putting them in the men's room was a genius idea, a stroke of genius, because where else is a man going to be where he is not in danger of encountering any women and is open to looking at literature about erectile dysfunction?
Assuming that all this is all heteronormative.
But yeah,
right?
but I mean, it's all male normative, right? It's all
no, it's not male normative. No. Because if you're a guy with a guy, you could both be in the bathroom at the same time.
And you're both likely to deal with erectile dysfunction. That's my point.
Well, one
maleness
of you
is what makes it relevant. And someone with non-maleness is going to be somebody you don't want to be dealing with this around. So I think putting it in the men's room is a very, very big.
You mean in terms of capturing the relevant audience? And yes, it's better than a billboard.
In a situation where they are open to the most open, I suppose, or feel the most secure looking at
this is
material.
No. See, no, that's where I was
where
like,
else, though?
This is
in the airport.
This is. If you're gonna, I'll give you this. If you want to put it like in the stall,
well, they can take it in the stall. That's what you know.
No, you can't. You can't take something in the stall that's on the counter. People are there washing their hands. You don't see it really until you wash your hands.
Yeah, 3 stacks. Here's part of that. There's 3 stacks. Then there should have been 3 brochures. They do not need stacks, because ain't nobody taking that out of the men's room.
Right. Okay, so that's the thing. So you're not getting them until you go out. I mean, they're putting by the sink, which implies, please take this with you.
That you're done. Yeah, that
Please take this with you.
A little basket on the inside of the stall door would probably be a better place.
Inside the stall door, that's where you want to be. But it wasn't like the stalls were designed for this purpose. These people just like guerrilla marketing style.
Yeah, and with those sort of industrial toilets, there's not like a tank you can stack them on or anything, because it's just got the pipes or whatever. So.
Yeah, because and then you start thinking about like who else has rifled through these things before they wash their hands, and I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, what they didn't do with them, so. If they're dealing with erectile dysfunction. So that part at least is not
true, but that's where the other thing comes in. So then I actually thought, now how do I get this out of here?
And you were thinking that?
Well, yes, because how else was I going to deliver it to Carlos in the middle of a session?
Hey, I found something you might want to take a look at.
That's not what I did, of course. I waited till no one's around. But I can't emerge holding this in my hand because the medical people, they're almost certainly the people who put this in there.
Right, yeah.
For all I know, they're waiting.
And if they put that in there, they have vested interest. They see you working. They're going to
come after me. Yes.
Yeah.
So I can't have that happen. And I also know that other guys have probably seen this sitting there, and if they see me carrying this thing, they'll go, aha!
Yeah, you'll be able to see it a mile away.
Which shouldn't matter, except that we know it does because the whole thing is about no longer living in shame.
That is a little ironic.
Right? So what I did instead is and this took some time because I had to like wave, rip. Like I got like enough paper towel. Actually, enough paper towel.
I had to wave, rip. It's like you were passing gas. What is it?
No.
Rev, wave.
So,
got to do a little rip and wave. You know what I mean?
That's always that is what we call it, rip wave. Just
rip wave
now. So I got enough paper towel, and the paper towel was wide enough. It was wider than the cardstock thing, so I was able to fold it over like a little makeshift envelope, and I carried it out like that.
A paper towel envelope.
Yes, like as if you got like a dirty magazine in the mail, and they put it like in the like.
Right, you've somehow made this more conspicuous.
Or like when you get a drink and you go to if you go to a liquor store and then they put your stuff in a black bag. You're like, seriously, why?
What's
with the black bag?
What?
Or the paper bag, like a long thin paper bag. It's only meant for one purpose.
It doesn't exist anywhere else. Yeah.
Right. Why did you do that to me? I'd rather just carry the bottle out.
Why didn't you put a big comic XXX on there and put it in a jug that I could also use to play bluegrass music with?
Right. So I walk out with it, and I walk into the conference room, and I proceed to. And Carlos is there at the back table. He's at a different table from where I'm sitting, and I walk up to him and say, "Here, I got this for you." And then I just proceeded on. And he opens it and he's like, oh.
I can see him being scandalized by this.
I thought you might want this. I think that's what I said. I thought you might want this.
Thinking of you, buddy.
Live on shame free.
You don't have to live in shame, man.
I know. So I bet
you there's a really fun term for that in Portuguese.
Oh, they have all sorts of.
That's what I'm saying. Erectile dysfunction must be really great.
I wish.
No context.
I wish that I knew what the name of what it was. It was like I'm telling you, it was like a shockwave kind of therapy or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it looked like. The illustrations looked like waves coming out or something. I don't. That's what it sounds like. I'm sure. Very.
It's down to magnets and copper.
I'm Googling.
That sounds very homeopathic. I don't know if I would.
For those of you at home who want to
rub a crystal.
Oh, okay. Here's an ad. It is. Say goodbye to ED for good. Low intensity acoustic waves. Novo Wave, new treatment for ED. Finally fixed the root cause.
Oh, finally.
ED, confronting shame and social expectations.
You put a.
You wouldn't believe the picture.
Yeah, imagine that.
Cultural rigidity around the idea of sex.
Cultural rigidity.
They literally.
So they're like, what we need here to be taken seriously is puns.
But some of these are good puns. Like.
That's what I want. The treatment for my erectile dysfunction is puns.
Overcome psychological ED. Get it up for good.
So it's a psychological, because there's the two things, right? There's the psychological version and the
right. I don't think that's version. What this like. The wave thing is not going to address that unless you put the wave on your head. Yeah,
it's just like inspiring music or something.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's just an iPod with "Gonna Fly Now" on it.
So anyway, so that was fun. That happened.
Yeah, apparently. Bathroom flyers.
So how was your week?
Well, it was completely free of erectile dysfunction, thankfully.
I was not judging you.
I got these new speakers. But no, it's been a rather quiet week, actually.
In Lake Wobegon? Been another quiet week in Lake Wobegon. Is that how it goes?
Something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, not too bad. However,
yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
As one might be expecting, there I do have a bit of an update on our friend Ted.
Mm-hmm. When we last left you,
when we last left me, go back to episode 69.
There was a broken window. There was no high-pitched sound coming from the front of the house.
Machine
from the
noise
basement
coming from
area,
the front, which I witnessed. I only heard about the incident before when it was in the garage and it was disturbing the neighbors. But hearing it out front, I can see how it would be disturbing. It was very loud, even though the windows were open.
So orient me for me. Like, do me a favor and orient me. So if I'm standing in front of your house, so I'm staring at your house.
At my front door.
And your front door, the right door, not the wrong neighbor's door. Where would I go?
Okay,
just direct
so
me.
you would turn left towards the alleyway,
thing.
the big long alleyway that comes in from the street.
Yes.
And you would go out into that alleyway and you would look at about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And that
would be the back side of the person's house.
That's the back side of the unit in question. It's well, I'm not going to get any more.
No, that's all I need to know.
That.
I know where we are. Okay.
So the front of that one faces the street, the actual street
right.
outside.
Yeah.
Right. Because the front of ours faces the fountain, but that one faces outside of the street. So when you go to the front and you hear the machine from the front, you're
already
standing,
a weird thing to say. Listen to the words coming out of your mouth.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right.
Yeah.
You're standing on the actual sidewalk to that street when you see it. So it's very
and he
public
probably
facing.
thought if I put it on this, but that street gets less activity because it gets drive-by activity, but not like that kind. But like,
anyway,
it gets drive-by activity, but it doesn't get like a lot of foot traffic probably. Not by the neighbors themselves.
Not a lot.
Right? Well,
not a lot. Some of the people that live down the street, will walk up that way to come to all of the stuff, but it's not heavily trafficked, I wouldn't say, because enough of the stuff is far enough away. Like there's that baseball field between us and that, and seems like there's another thing that kind of separates this area. So a lot of people prefer to drive simply because it's just far enough that it's kind of annoying to have to walk.
Florida.
But it's very public facing, right? And so, and all the windows are open. So we've got an answer.
So wait. I want to know, so what happened after you flew the drone in the window?
Well, I accidentally caught the place on fire, and that was unfortunate, but he still wouldn't answer the door. So, I actually talked to neighbor number one, and
neighbor number one was the one who knew the person's name and knew what they knew the most about the person.
Right. And he actually talked to Ted, and this would be after we recorded.
He talked to him. What was the context of that? How did he talk to him?
The guy...
Did Ted emerge?
He did. He emerged and
to look out, and was he like a groundhog, or was he going somewhere, or what was happening?
It was specifically to talk to neighbor number one.
He came to the door of neighbor number one?
No, neighbor number one was already out.
Okay. Is this in the alleyway or was this in the front?
In the alleyway.
Oh, okay.
Neighbor number one is working on his bike outside of his garage, and this guy comes out and because remember, neighbor number one was disturbed by this noise because the back of his unit faces almost exactly the back of that unit.
Yes.
And so he comes out and talks to him and talks rather rudely about why did you call the police?
So which had happened at least 2 weeks prior, right?
Yeah, it's about a week and a half, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Maybe something like that. And neighbor number one was very quick to point out that he did not call the police. Thank you very much. And somebody else did that. But we were all, like, what did you expect? You have, neighbor number one is usually an extremely nice, mild-mannered guy.
There's this weird sound coming from your house.
But at this
all
point,
of your
he's
windows
like,
are open.
Holy crap!
You're not
I can't
answering
believe
the door, and
you're coming to me with this when you have the weirdest situation going on in this unit right now.
Right.
What the hell did you expect us to do?
Right.
and so after a good bit of discussion, we find out. And I'm keeping everybody completely anonymous here, so
yes,
nobody's because it turns out this guy essentially has, and I feel bad for him.
This guy being Ted. Yeah.
This guy, and I feel bad for him. I really do because
don't make us feel bad yet. Are you jumping?
We need to because this gives a lot of context to what's been going on, and that is that this guy has almost like crippling social anxiety. And is an utter recluse. Yes.
Okay, the recluse I understand, but the confrontation though.
But he just he summoned up the courage to do that, and whatever made him decide to do that, I don't know. But I guess it took a while because, like you said, it was a week and a half ago that this happened. But here's the thing: this guy is very much into mining cryptocurrency.
Oh wait. I feel okay. Wait a second. I feel like. Wait. He comes out and he goes up to neighbor one and he confronts him and he says, "Why did you call the police?"
Right, and
neighbor one says, "I didn't."
That was somebody else. He didn't finger neighbor number three. But it was like, and he kind of goes off on the guy saying, but what did you expect? You have this situation where you've got all your windows open. This thing is going off in your garage.
Yeah.
And we don't know if you got stuck in the elevator or whatever. He's like, my unit doesn't even have the elevator. He's like, I don't know that. I hear this thing come out of your deal, and you certainly didn't do anything to help solve the situation, to clear up stuff when you know at least 3 people and a cop are all wondering about it, and you made 0 effort to clear this up. You didn't do anything to disarm a situation that you know is happening because you've got more than one person texting you and calling you and leaving things and knocking on your door and all of that stuff until somebody had to call the cops. And they showed up and you didn't even talk to them. You turned the machine off, but you didn't open the door and talk to the police. So good God Almighty, where do you get off? Right? That's basically the gist of the conversation.
And then the guy says,
well, okay, maybe you have a point, is essentially what he said. But he explained the situation about him having massive social anxiety, does not like to go out in public or anything.
I can relate to that.
And and that he is like really into cryptocurrency.
Oh, cryptocurrencies, right? Okay, well,
and so the thing that we're hearing is a rig that's mining crypto.
Stop it.
Mining Bitcoin.
Stop. That's not possibly true.
How is that not possibly true? Have you seen these things? They're ridiculous.
Cryptocurrencies exist in the internet.
Okay, do you not know that you can mine Bitcoin?
Yes, yes, but you don't. Why do you need a real what machine other than a computer?
It is. It's a computer, but it's dedicated specifically to that point. Well, that's the deal, right? Like back when when Bitcoin first came out, mining it was an easy thing to do. You could use your regular old desktop computer to do for a while. Now I didn't even know it existed at that time, but I do know a little bit about the history of it. And the thing is that the computations that have to happen in order to mine a Bitcoin have gotten logarithmically more and more complex. And so you need more and more computing power in order to do it.
They do this to create a scarcity, to manufacture a scarcity, right?
Well, they're doing it to actually the opposite. They're doing it to create more Bitcoin.
No. That's what I'm saying, though. But you can't just, if they would just created it automatically, that
that
would lead to an inflationary
getting
situation.
into like all of the
you have to create scarcity
exactly
around.
you're computing. It's all down to
because it's basically
cryptography and all that stuff.
It's a digital gold standard, essentially, was what it is.
Basically, but it's tied to these algorithms that are getting more and more complex, and you need more and more computing power to get
you're running out of
through.
gold.
And here's the thing: is that these machines now, they make them dedicated to this because now they're so complex that you can't use the machine for anything other than that. And there's tons of graphic cards in there. And
I'm
things
looking
like
this up, a Bitcoin rigging machine. I'm looking this up, and none of these things look larger than like a server rack to me. Like, I mean, I see.
But it's down to the cooling. That's
the
thing.
fans, right? You need the fans, right?
And because these things put out.
So he has a server farm, essentially. What you're saying in his house,
exactly. And like one of the guys in the complex actually knows a lot about crypto as well, and he was talking about how these rigs, the kind of thing that he's got, put out heat. That's the equivalent of like 4 hair dryers running all the time.
Which is why his windows are open.
Which is why his windows are all the way open, and why he's
we will be
keeping it
posting
on the
pictures.
bottom.
We will be posting pictures of these rigs. We have to. People have to know what we're because I'm telling you, most people right now listening to us have no idea what we are talking about. Like.
And these things are like $15,000, and that's why he wants to kind of stay anonymous a little bit, because he's a little worried about the fact, because he says he's building a facility or something somewhere in maybe an office to put this stuff for the time being, but he's running it now in his house, and it's causing him, heating up the joint, and so he has to have the windows open. And he moved it to the front so he wouldn't bother the neighbors or whatever. But it's still, now as to why the window got broken, we're not entirely sure. We think that maybe like when he was moving things around in there, something just fell forward and smacked the window and cracked it or something. Because it's not that bad. It's just weird, on top of all of the other stuff. And so he's definitely a weird guy. But
okay.
Not as far as I can tell, dangerous.
Well, that's if you believe the story.
It's okay.
Maybe it took him 2 weeks to come up with the story, and now he had the gumption to come and was like, aha, I know what I'll tell him.
Yeah.
I'll tell him I'm mining for Bitcoin.
In the movie Untouchables, Sean Connery's character Malone first runs into Elliot Ness on a bridge at night when Elliot Ness is feeling down about his job. And he goes, "Where are you going, pal?" And he hits his chest with the stick, and he feels his gun under there. And he goes, "All right, pal, why the Roscoe or whatever?" And Ness goes, "I'm a treasury officer." And Malone goes, "Oh, all right then." And he turns around and he walks off. He's like, "Wait a minute, what are you doing? You're turning your back on a guy who's an armed guy." He's like, "You're a treasury officer." And he goes, "Well, how do you know that? I could have just said that." And he goes, "Who would claim to be that? Who was not?" And that's kind of how I feel about this guy. Who would claim to be a social recluse mining crypto?
You're much too trusting.
No, I trust that people aren't good enough to come up with that story if it's not true.
Dude, a week ago we thought he was murdering people or something worse.
Which is a lot more normal.
That's more...
Being a murderer is a lot more normal than being a reclusive crypto miner. Yes, it is.
No, statistically speaking, there's more Bitcoin miners than there are murderers.
Yeah, but if somebody's going to make up a story,
they're not going to say that they're
is going to be a lot more complicated.
I'm a murderer. No, you're not. You're a Bitcoin rigger.
You're a reclusive Bitcoin miner. Ain't nobody's going to make that stuff up. I have no reason to believe this guy isn't exactly what he claims to be. Because who would claim to be that who is not?
I don't think you can trust him.
Well, I don't trust him. I just don't think he's doing anything other than mining Bitcoin in there.
Listen to this sentence. Brands include the What's Miner series from MicroBT and the Ant Miner series from Bitmain, offering 78 to 95 terahashes per second and ranging in price from $8,100 to $10,400.
$10,400
At the high end.
How are you going to recoup that? Like the amount of Bitcoin you can mine per whatever hour you're never going to recoup that. That's $10,000 straight off the bat. And then you also have a running bill of all of the electricity you're using and the air conditioning you're using, which is even more electricity. It's ridiculous. It seems like Bitcoin mining right now, unless you live in Alaska and you have your things out running off of solar and they're out in an ice field, you're a sucker at this point. Like in 98, okay. But now, no way. That's ridiculous.
All right. Miners are rewarded with 6.25 Bitcoins. This number will reduce to 3.125. Oh, in 2024, it reduces to 3.125, whatever that means.
But in what amount of time?
The reward plus transaction fees are paid to the miner who solved the puzzle first. This process repeats approximately every 10 minutes for every mining machine on the network. But how much do you make? Okay. Successfully mining just one Bitcoin block and holding on to it since 2010 would mean you have $450,000 worth of Bitcoin in your wallet in 2020.
Yeah, but in 2010 they were a hell of a lot more easily mined.
All right.
So that's ridiculous.
So you can't find this answer. Like, how much is it?
Exactly.
Well, it certainly is weird.
It's definitely weird.
It ain't sexy.
No,
it's weird.
Not. It's a little disappointing.
Well, I mean, I'm glad everybody's safe if we believe it.
Yeah. That it wasn't like a body melting machine that it was running.
That's what I was going to say. Like, that's the machine that creates Soylent Green.
Soylent Green is Bitcoin.
Would you like to taste this? This
tastes like neighbor number 3. By the way, don't call the police.
Right.
Don't call the police.
So he didn't explain. So he didn't answer the door for the police because of his social anxiety.
Yeah, he's. I guess his reasoning was, I know why the cop is here. It's the noise. So if I turn the machine off, then the cop has no reason to be here anymore, which isn't really bad logic. It's just not doing anything to diffuse the situation with your neighbors. Matter of fact, it's making you look significantly worse. Right.
Well, at least he moved it.
But that tracks for somebody who's like I don't know if it's maybe he's got a little of dissociative kind of thing going on and doesn't really get sort of empathic responses or whatever. He doesn't really understand that this is making him look terrible. He's seeing it as a thing. I've solved the thing. But repercussions aren't something that he's taking into consideration or something. I don't know. But like I said, I kind of feel bad for the guy. Well, I definitely feel. I've known people like that. I mean, I think
you need to. I think you need to take this a step further.
Information systems kind of situation, and in the theater situation, I've known people that were this socially awkward, and it can be a massive handicap.
All right. Well, then I think in your interest in bonding with this person, I think you should go over there. And I think
you got a Bitcoin.
I think you should tell him that you're interested in renting his machine. I think you need to tell him how much could I, just for an hour, how much would it cost me to will you maybe he could teach you to mine.
I don't want to learn.
I think you need to push the envelope. You need to push this. You need to push on this a little bit and see.
Yeah.
See if it has any give to it. I think you need to see.
I'm gonna invite you guys over, and I'll invite him over too. And
he's never coming over. The
Well,
best
you never
chance
know.
you have, is to get his number, send him a text message, and say, "Hey, I'm a neighbor. Confidentially, I understand you're doing this thing, and I have a, I'm tech oriented myself, but and I've been interested in, like, I've been exploring the possibility of doing the Bitcoin mining thing. Is there any chance we could chat about it? We could just phone call, or I could come over. But I'm just interested in learning more about it, and see what he says."
It's one flaw in your plan. I am less than not interested in mining Bitcoin.
That's not the point. Why is that not the point, Marcus?
So meeting the socially anxious person, the first thing I should do is lie to them.
No, because you're doing it for
That'll
us.
save the situation.
You're doing it for us. You certainly can't go in and tell him you're doing it for a
so I can put
podcast.
his whole life onto a podcast.
Well, you already have.
Well,
You can't say that.
we didn't
You're
know
just
that
gonna
until
say-
afterwards.
We're just gonna say, look, we want to learn more about this. Not we, you.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Actually, wait.
I'm smelling a lot of we coming off of this plan.
If you say we, maybe he'll be more okay with it.
Yeah, more people. That's what he wants.
No, he won't. Like, never. Anyway. Yeah, I think we need to learn more about this.
Yeah. You are more than welcome to
Teenager and his
knock on his
sister
door.
say
I'll show you which one he lives in.
a teenager and his sister say they make $35,000 a month by mining Bitcoin.
A teenager and his sister are lying
Oh! So you believe? Oh, but why would they lie about that?
because it's again.
Why would they lie
lying
about
making
that,
a lot of
Mark?
money? This is not a bizarre
No, but why would they? If you're going to
unusual
lie
lie.
about making a lot, if you're going to lie about making a lot of money, why don't you say I make a lot of money doing, like, I'm a shoe shiner and I make a lot of money
'Cause
shoe shining.
shiners don't make a lot of money, but they can. But not enough people don't understand cryptocurrency that they can get away with saying that about themselves. It's
Oh, so it's okay
what's a
for this
way-
dude.
I didn't say it was okay. I'm saying that.
It's believable.
If somebody's going to make we make a whole ton of money, how can we come up with an idea of how we make a whole ton of money when neither of us has a job and we don't leave our house? Cryptocurrency. It's pretty easy.
That's what this guy's saying. The reason I haven't come out of my house and the windows are all open and everything else,
It's
and
the
you're hearing
crippling
this.
social anxiety that I'm saying is not something that are they saying that they're afraid of people?
I think it's safe to assume.
It's safe to assume. I think
wait,
you're an
they're
extremely
kids.
bad person.
They're kids. They're kids.
At this
But
point,
they're wearing T-shirts saying "Flifer." Flifer.
what's the date on this article?
September 14th, 2021.
2021, September.
Yeah.
And they're making 30 grand a day, and they are wearing shirts that say "Flifer." I don't buy that.
From making. Do you want Flifer? What's Flifer mean?
I have no idea. But the thing is, if they're not wearing much better clothing than that, making
they're-
30 grand a
I think
day.
they're their shirts. Maybe they learned it by watching YouTube videos, and once the computers are set up, the machines run by themselves with just a little extra work. Since school has started, we can only do crypto mining work on weekends. They're Dallas-based people, and I believe them.
Okay, well, good luck to them.
They say all the right things. We primarily mine Ethereum, but also do Bitcoin and Ravencoin. They know
Ethereum,
Ravencoin. They do Hufflepuff. They do.
Well, they do Hufflepuff. Good. So I wasn't even aware that mining was how you made like these others. I don't know enough about this.
I didn't know it was still a thing. I thought, I knew that it was a thing when they first established the marketplace for it.
There's
But I
other
didn't
ways
know
to
it was actually still
mine,
a
quote
thing.
unquote, mine Bitcoin, but not from the whole computing power thing. Like right now, there's a network called Helium that is like a outsourced public Wi-Fi Internet of Things kind of network. And if you set up one of these devices in your house that acts as an access point for this network, and it is witnessed by all these other things, then what are you laughing at?
I'm just thinking back when you were worried about talking about iOS 15 and losing people, you're like, oh
yeah.
no, we don't want to.
Well, yeah. Fair point. Anyway, Google Helium Network. And I'll just leave it at that.